Miss Ashley here again, and I have a new story for you. And today's story is called Tallulah, Mermaid of the Great Lakes, and it's written by Denise Brennan Nelson. So the book starts off with this little intro, and it says, according to ancient mythology, every mermaid has a special gemstone hidden somewhere in the sea. Once a mermaid finds it, her tail will take on the same color as the stone, and she will acquire her magical powers. Her powers are used to help fishermen and freighters during storms, safeguard treasures in sunken ships, maintain lighthouses, and awaken imaginations with enchanting melodies. So, with that in mind, let's start our story about Tallulah, and let's see what happens to her. In the blue, shallow water of the sea, a group of young mermaids splashed in the waves. Their tails shimmered in the summer sun, hinting at the jeweled colors they would soon become. But when Tallulah waved her dull gray tail back and forth to catch the sunlight, it didn't sparkle, and the other mermaids giggled. Tallulah quickly hid her tail in the water. Finally, the day had arrived. Sea creatures from all over gathered to wish the young mermaids luck in their search. Tallulah listened and watched as the Elder Mermaid gave instructions and advice to the young mermaids about where and how to search for their gemstones. When Tallulah tried to ask a question, they all stared at her dull gray tail and said nothing. After just a few weeks of searching, the young mermaids returned, excited to show off their colorful gemstones and their sparkling tails. But weeks and months floated by with no sign of Tallulah. It had been almost a year when Tallulah returned. Her tail was the same dull color it had always been. The sea creatures gathered around her. Exhausted and sad, Tallulah whispered, I've searched in every ocean. I've been to every sea. I cannot find my gem. Wherever can it be? The Elder Mermaid spoke in a very raspy, stern voice. No ocean holds your gem, nor any sea of blue. Search no more, Tallulah. There is no gem for you. The words felt like an anchor around Tallulah. Sea Turtle's deep voice interrupted the silence. Have you looked in the Great Lakes? The what? Seahorse exclaimed. Never heard of 'em, Octopus grumbled. That's ridiculous, the Elder Mermaid scolded Turtle. Lakes don't need mermaids. Mermaids live in the ocean. Yeah, a young mermaid said, rolling her eyes, and lakes don't have gemstones. These lakes are special and more beautiful than you could ever imagine, Turtle said. Tallulah listened intently as Sea Turtle told her all about the Great Lakes. "Will you take me there?" Tallulah asked. And Turtle nodded, but he said that he couldn't stay for very long. In the wee hours of the morning, Turtle and Tallulah set off for the Great Lakes. Side by side they swam until they felt a change in the water. "The Great Lakes are not far from here," Turtle told her. "Do you really think I'll find my gemstone?" Tallulah asked, glancing at her dull gray tail. The turtle nodded. Tallulah was anxious to begin searching for her gem. They swam through locks and past ports and islands until they reached Lake Ontario. They spent the day searching islands and shipwrecks as a school of curious bluegill followed closely behind. They swam by big cities, lighthouses, and sandy bluffs. What does that big tower look like, guys? Is that the CN Tower in Toronto? Yep. Peeking over the edge of a rock, they watched bicycles and horse-drawn carriages circle around an island. For days, Tallulah looked everywhere for her gemstone, but she couldn't find it. Brrr! It's chilly! Tallulah shivered as they swam into Lake Superior. But she loved the feel of the cool blue water. She explored cliffs and arches. She dove deep into the water, hoping to find her gemstone at the bottom of a waterfall, but it wasn't there. Tallulah and Turtle swam for miles and miles searching for her gemstone. Tired and heartbroken, Tallulah found a cove to rest in. Watching the moon rise above the water, her hopes of finding her gemstone sank. Tallulah turned to Turtle. "These lakes are even more beautiful than you described. I wish I could stay here forever, but I should have listened to the other mermaids. There's no gem for me. Maybe it's time we went home," she said with a wistful sigh. "There is one more lake," Turtle said, glancing at her tail. Early the next day, Tallulah and Turtle set off to explore Lake Michigan. They searched for her gemstone around islands and sand dunes, past big city shorelines and quaint ones too. Soon they were playing in marinas and harbors, around piers and under docks and rafts. They counted lighthouses, they chased ferry boats and yachts, and they hung out in the bay, and they played tag with schools of fish. They even swam near white sandy beaches sprinkled with beach chairs and umbrellas. They floated on their backs and watched kites diving and twirling in the sky, and sun-kissed children building sculptures out of sand. At the end of the day, Tallulah and Turtle drifted in the gentle waves and watched the sun sparkle across the water. Tallulah had been having so much fun that she hadn't thought about finding her gemstone all day. "Thank you, Turtle," she said. "I forgot how much fun it is to be a mermaid." The band of children playing on the beach reached Tallulah, and she was curious to get a better look at their sandcastles. They waited until the beaches were empty before making their way to shore. They were admiring the sandcastles the children had built when something caught Tallulah's eye. It looked oddly familiar. What do you see? What could that be? What could it be? Tallulah reached out to pick it up, and as soon as she saw the beautiful sunburst pattern of the Petrowski stone, Tallulah realized what it was. Holding it out for Turtle to see, Tallulah exclaimed, "I found it! Turtle, I found my gemstone!" "Yes, you did, Tallulah," Turtle replied, "and the Great Lakes found their mermaid." So can you guys see? Do you see the pattern in the stone? And then do you see how it matches the pattern in her tail? Yeah. Maybe that's why Turtle knew where she'd find her gemstone. It was in her tail all along. The next time you are near one of the Great Lakes, listen carefully and you might hear Tallulah singing. "There are mermaids in the ocean and mermaids in the sea, but here among the Great Lakes is where I am meant to be." And that is the end of Tallulah, Mermaid of the Great Lakes. I hope you guys enjoyed this book. I think it's super fun. I like seeing Toronto mentioned in the book, and I like learning about the Great Lakes. So maybe you'll get to visit one of them. And until next time, guys, stay safe and keep washing your hands. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the Miss Ashley YouTube Storytime channel for other great stories and craft ideas. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.